and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
That's good. It's good. You know, I'll give it to you.
It's the perfect. I was thinking of a song that would really just end off the week, and we could always play the September bed. I don't mind. Mm-hmm. But I was listening to this last night, and I'm like, this is it. This is the one.
It feels very jazzy.
That we gotta bring in for the afternoon Karak.
Especially on a weekend.
Yeah. I love it. It's jazzy, it's groovy, it's vibey. It's what afternoon Karak is.
That is true. That is all correct. And I'm feeling it, like you said, I feel like very jazzy. I feel like I'm inside a retro game, maybe an 8-bit game, something like that. And what's life if it's not a game, right?
You're welcome.
I did not expect that. I'm going to give you a clap.
So, guys, welcome to the Afternoon Karak, the last day of the week as we're wrapping up our grind. And whether it's university or work, you're driving back home, you're trying to figure out what to do for the weekend. Afternoon Karak is the hour for you to tune in for all of entertainment, video games, and just goofy discussions. Coming up this hour, we're going to be talking about the Oscars and their new rules for diversity that will be taking place in 2024, as well as some updates on a Black Widow and Spider-Man 3.
As well, we're going to be talking about the DUNE trailer that, Warner Brothers and Timothée Chalamet and Oscar Isaac and all the amazing cast has been kind of teasing us about it for weeks and weeks. A lot of people predicted that it was going to come out all the way back in the beginning of August, but lo and behold, they took their sweet, sweet time and they gave us a trailer, finally, a 3-minute long trailer on the 9th of September. That was last night. We're going to be talking about all of that and much more right here on the Afternoon Karak. And what better way to start the weekend than with a bang and some dynamite?
Pulse 95.
In the mainstream realm, a lot of people, when they think of science fiction, they always look at Star Wars or Star Trek and maybe sometimes
2001 Space Odyssey.
2001 Space Odyssey. But then there's the things that are a little bit more niche, like Blade.
I really think that...
Like Blade Runner, for example.
I would say maybe not, especially lately. I wouldn't think that Blade Runner would be niche, especially with the latest installment of the movie.
Didn't do well in the cinemas, by the way.
But it became a cult classic. A lot of people love the entire vibes of it. And I think that Dune is a cult classic as well that became a massive thing. Perhaps because of the marketing, or perhaps people are just starving for something as epic and as big as Dune, especially with the amazing cast that is part of this movie.
Yeah, I think the popularity from Dune is actually from the book itself and the somewhat polarizing 1984 adaptation of it by David Lynch. So seeing this trailer, I've never read the books. I'm sorry to anybody who's a huge fan.
Yeah.
I've never watched the movie. I don't know too much about Dune. And watching the trailer, it was a bit light on plot, but really heavy on drama.
You
and
really
that
think it
is
was
what
light
got
on
me
plot?
hooked.
Really?
I don't know what exactly is going on. There's dreams, there's visions, there's factions, there's weird sci-fi politics and all of that. But I am interested, and I want to explore this world. I want to see what Dune is all about, because what's his name? The director himself, Denis Villeneuve, has promised that Dune is going to be a blend of Game of Thrones intrigue and space operatics that should make it one of the first adaptations to be accessible. I like that.
I'm super excited for this because just like you said, you said, is that I'm craving this kind of epic kind of drama in terms of movies. The only thing we have in terms of this capacity or this massiveness is the MCU. And there's only so much, I'd say, superhero movies you can take, even though I'm a massive Marvel fan, superhero movies fan. But I do want more sci-fi. I'm a massive fan of sci-fi. But like you said, we're just seeing a small surge of interest in it, especially when we go backwards and think about adaptations. This is the type of adaptation I think that we are striving for and we want and need more of.
Like dystopian sci-fi.
Yes.
This is a new kind of crazy.
Yes, Mad Max, especially we're getting the new movie very soon. And this one is just, again, epic fantasy, epic sci-fi, and it's just exciting. And just like you said, even though I refuse to go beyond the 1 minute mark because I tend to,
Believe me, you watch 3 minutes of this and you're like, still, I don't get it.
That's what my friends told me as well. They're like, it's okay, it's very vague. I'm like, no, I don't trust myself. I don't want to pick up on things and make myself like think about them. But just that 1 minute, just like you said, it just throws you off completely. It's so rich, and like you said, just so rich, and you are so much intrigued and you want to know more about what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think this just tells you about how big the movie might be. And I'm wondering how long the movie will be. Is it going to be around 3 hours long? Because if it's going to be anything less than that, can they actually fit everything? Because if the trailer itself is 3 minutes and it was incredibly vague, was it just somebody being smart when it comes to cutting it up? Or is it going to have something similar to where a lot of movies, they will show you something in the trailer and then when you go watch it, it's something completely different?
It could be like that. Trailers are deliberate in the way that they could mislead or make you just focus on a particular part of the story.
Yeah.
But it could be completely different when you start watching it. The movie's releasing later this year, December 2020.
Actually, there are rumors going on that because Wonder Woman 1984 might be postponed, that even DUNE is going to be pushed into 2021.
I'm willing to wait.
I'm willing to wait as well.
Seems like one of those very special movies, you know, that doesn't come very often, and it's an adaptation of of a very popular book that people always kind of talk about whenever I go into the forums and
The Worm.
And the worm. It's always like a thing about the fans. I keep reading about it. But yeah, from just looking at reception from YouTube on the articles and even Reddit, a lot of people are like, wow, this is gonna look absolutely fantastic. It seems closer to a true adaptation of the book Dune.
I'm so excited for this, and so is Mikhail. And I believe in the past couple of hours, like in less than 24 hours, it got millions and millions of views. So across several platforms. So this just tells you how much hopes people are putting into this movie. So Denis Villeneuve, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, and Oscar Isaac, please do not disappoint us. We are hinting every single hope we have on this movie, and we're super excited, and we're looking forward to watching it, inshallah, whenever it comes out, so we can review it. Text us 4215 Itisalat or 2 and tell us, what did you think about the trailer? What are your first impressions? Are you as excited as we are? Are you excited about the worm? We finally got, the big reveal of the worm. We're going to be taking a short break, and we'll be back very soon with more chatting, more fun right here on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
Ever since we've been on the afternoon Karak, and when it coincides with the Oscars or any sort of award season, we're always sitting here and criticizing the selection of movies that are, or TV shows that are considered. And almost always, there's always an issue, especially for the past, I'd say 2-3 years, in terms of diversity. And apparently, the answer to this, according to the Academy Award, is to introduce some new criteria.
And this is for this is a criteria that actually applies to whether or not you're even considered for the Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
So here are the criteria. First, there has to be on-screen representation, themes, and narratives, which means anything you have to relate to diversity of the cast and the story.
Yeah.
The second category is creative leadership and project team, which relates to the diversity of the crew. And the third category is industry access and opportunities, which covers apprenticeship, training, and internship opportunities on the film. And finally, the last category, audience development, which is about covering the diversity of the marketing, publicity, and distribution teams.
One of the examples is under on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. There is a lead or significant supporting actor. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group, such as Asian, Hispanic, Black or African American, Indigenous, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, etc. My criticism is that it's funny. It's funny to me because it was always in the Academy Awards' hands to include these movies. They're supposed to put these I'd say, no, I'm gonna call them restriction.
It's their voting power.
Exactly, it was
where
their
instead
fault.
it's like, okay, you know what? Every other production company out there, it's up to you to implement diversity.
When it should have been them. They're the ones who are picking those movies, because I'm pretty sure they got thousands, maybe hundreds of movies from across different, different walks of life, from different, whether they're indie movies or from big production houses, but they have different themes and different topics and different actors and actresses. So they had the ability to just implement it themselves.
Yeah.
It's ironic and funny that they're asking the production houses and the actors, actresses, the directors, casting directors to implement something that they should have been implementing.
Exactly.
If they could have easily just taken that into consideration and just started doing this a long time ago. I didn't realize that until somebody tweeted it, and I was like, you're right. Although at the beginning I was like, I'm on the fence, because that seems like a good idea, of course, because you always need to at the beginning to enforce it for it to become normal and naturalized, and then it becomes just just an average thing. It's nothing new or not something crazy. But then I was like, wait a second, but couldn't they have just done that themselves? They could have picked all these movies that weren't, for example, so quote unquote so white. And there was a hashtag that was that's always around February, around January, when the nominations are out, that called Oscars So White, because of the nominations. So I feel like it's funny to me.
Or just abolish Hollywood WASTA and you're good to go. You wouldn't have to do this whole diversity enforcement of rules.
Maybe.
But one thing about it, despite being a little bit strict, from 2024, films will have to meet at least 2 of these criterias, not all 4 of them, to be listed into the Best Picture nomination.
I don't think it's going to be hard for movies. Again, it's going to be hard only on who? On the Academy group,
Imagine
let's
after
say.
all of these new rules being placed, they still pick. They still pick the controversial films.
They could easily still do that. See, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be easy for all these directors and movie producers to make those movies, because they've been making them for the past 10, 20, 30 years. Nothing new. It's nothing, mind-blowing.
Exactly.
But I don't know, honestly. I don't mind it, but again, it's the wrong direction of it. What do you guys think? 4215 Etisalat, or do tell us, do you believe that the new diversity rules by the Academy Awards, is it a viable thing? Is it a smart thing? Or
I feel like it's just going to complicate things. Because already, with filmmaking, directors, the new way of making movies and telling stories, there is always some form of representation.
Because it's all about talking about being relatable. I mean, like, if something is not relatable, it's not going to be successful. When it comes to being relatable on like a physical, or at least appearance-wise, or even when it comes to different struggles, different ways of thinking, etc. So we just need to wait and see. Coming up next is one of 2 Marvel rumors. One is good, one is bad, so stay tuned for that.
Pulse 95.
Star Wars fans, join and assemble, and let's keep building up on the hate for the new trilogy, because we got some really interesting news directly from Daisy Ridley, who talks about her lineage and the origins of the character Rey. And I'm just shocked. I'm shooketh.
Why are you shocked? Didn't we say that this was something that was expected?
Okay.
We kind of saw it coming. We did say that it felt like...
You're right, but for her to say it directly, just coming from her.
All of them have been talking slowly, bit by bit. We've had John Boyega talking really badly and bad-mouthing Disney since December. Since the movie came out, and it was out, and then after a couple of weeks, he began. It's been still going on. Actually, Lucasfilms had tweeted something a couple weeks ago that said that they stand behind John Boyega no matter what he says and does.
Oh my God! So that even Lucasfilms doesn't call the shots here. Just it shows you that there's some inner secret of some kind, but we do get a little bit of juiciness from Daisy herself. She got in an interview with Josh Gad. I really recommend you go on his YouTube channel. He does some really, really cool reunion vids.
It's on Jimmy Kimmel Live, this one, though.
Also that, yeah. But you can find it also on YouTube. And he had an interview with her, and he asked her, like, okay, so what's up with Ray? And can you tell us a little bit more of how they went about trying to write this character for all the 3 movies? And she goes on to say, she says, at the beginning, they were toying with an Obi-Wan connection. And then she continues to say there were different versions. Then they really went with she's a no one, you know, that she has no lineage.
They usually call her Ray Nobody.
Yes.
Like if you go online, you look up Ray Nobody, that is what they would call her, or they used to call her before the whole, the surprise of her being related to Emperor Palpatine. That one threw everybody into like confusion and like, why? Who thought of this? Why? Just a lot of whys, basically.
Again, it has to do with the fact that they changed from 2 directors. They went from J.J. Abrams to, I forgot his name, the director for Knives Out. Oh my God.
How?
Our minds are going fuzzy right now.
Well, aren't they always? But do you blame us? We're really angry right now, as usual.
So on the 3rd film, they went back to J.J. Abrams, and he pitched to Daisy, saying, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be Palpatine's granddaughter, and it's gonna be awesome." And then 2 weeks later, he was like, "I'm still not sure." So it kept changing. Oh my God, how do you handle what? I can't imagine. Every movie's about $200+ million in budget, and you handle the story, you handle the lore. Rian Johnson.
Yes.
You handle the entire lore of Star Wars so recklessly like this.
Yes.
I went on YouTube. I've seen theorists, huge hardcore fans of Star Wars, concoct better theories, better story arcs for these characters than what they gave us in the film.
I am not the biggest Star Wars, fan. I do love Star Wars, but I'm not, when it comes to the lore and whatnot, I don't know anything. But even I can write a better story than what was written. I've seen people on Twitter in the small, tiny, text box. They write a better story within less than
140 characters.
Even less than 140 characters.
Disney, give Aisha her check right now.
Let me write your next Star Wars trilogy. I can do it. Or let me rewrite this one. I can reboot it. Mikhail and I can think together.
Just make me a Sith Lord. I know that's all I want.
You might die within the next first 10 minutes, but that's okay, right?
I don't mind.
He doesn't mind.
I get my Hollywood, my 15 minutes of fame.
Well, your literal 15 minutes of fame, and you can pick your lightsaber color. I'll give you that.
Yes, I like it. Mikey likey.
So if you want like a golden one, go ahead. You want a pink one, go ahead. You want a peach, go ahead.
Would you like to know what my color would be?
Yes.
Black.
No, that won't work.
It would.
But it needs to shine though.
It will shine.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me and my crew members.
I'm being like Samuel L. Jackson right now.
Yeah.
He got a purple lightsaber.
But purple works.
It works. And it did work. So why can't black work?
Because
I'm gonna make it work.
That's not how. Okay.
People will remember that. They will remember that 15 minutes of Sith Mikhail with a black saber.
You won't even change your name.
Sith. I don't know. Sith Mick.
Sith Mick. You're spreading terror across the galaxies with that name, Mikhail.
It's very petrifying. I know.
Just like, oh my God, Mick is here. Everybody hide. That's just, oh my God. Just
join me in the dark side.
And then obviously you die within the first 50. Actually, no, I'll make you.
I'll be like Boba Fett. He wouldn't say a single word, and still he got his own Mandalorian TV series.
But Boba Fett is not the Mikhail. Just please go watch The Mandalorian.
Just saying the
please
character.
Go watch The Mandalorian. That's not what the story or the show is about. We're going to be taking a short break. Next up is another Marvel rumor, so stay tuned.
Pulse 95.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is happening.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Well, there is no chocolate involved, which is upsetting.
But there is a golden ticket.
There is a golden ticket, and I love the color gold, and I like feeling special. It strokes the ego. But I'm not a big fan of jelly beans.
I am. I like them.
Mikhail, I'm talking about myself right now.
I feel like
I'm talking about how I want to be part of this.
You can have chocolate jelly beans.
No.
Non-dairy jelly beans.
I mean, jelly beans don't really have dairy, do they?
There's a couple,
I eat most of them. I've tried them, but I'm not a big fan. They just feel weird to me.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
What's really happening is a Jelly Belly founder is giving away a candy factory in return for golden tickets. And it's like a treasure hunt. You got to find these golden tickets to get a chance to win the factory. And Aisha, if you were to get the candy factory, you'd completely revamp it to create the only candy you want to be eating, right?
So basically, you know how it's like, oh, it's a jelly bean factory, but now I won, and I'm like, guys, change of plans. You're not a jelly bean factory anymore.
Why not?
We're a chocolate factory. We're gonna live the Willy Wonka dream, everybody. It would be like an interesting way. It's like a plot twist into the entire thing. We're like, whatever he does, we're not gonna do that anymore because I'm the boss now. We're doing chocolate.
It's your candy factory if you win.
That is true. That is true.
So it's going to be a treasure hunt across the whole entire country of the states. They'll be hiding a ton of these golden dog tag like necklaces, and there's only a few of them in every state. And winners will receive $5,000 with a separate grand prize of receiving a key to the candy factory, going to the one ultimate winner. And I tell you, this is something straight out of Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory, because this is somebody's dream out there.
Mine.
Well, grab yourself a ticket in the States, get yourself a van, go with all your goody friends.
Why did they decide to do this in a pandemic? Where was this last year?
That's the best, I would say, like, situation, because not a lot of people would want to go out. But those who do go out and are daring and are willing to go across the country for those golden tickets, you get a chance of a lifetime, a candy factory.
Well, Mikhail, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you ready for you to take over the entire show for a month?
I can do it. For you, I can do it.
That's so sweet.
Just give back the golden tickets. Let me in hopes I can be also co-founder of the candy factory.
Oh, okay. So there's something in it for you. You could have just said that.
You know what? I just want to be the candy taster. Okay, just hire me as a candy taster.
That could work. All right, that's the deal.
Hashtag the dream team.
Hashtag the dream team. We're gonna be taking a break. Coming up is Beyonce's Daddy Lessons, and then we're gonna be back with a nice suggestion. We don't have recommendations today, but we do have one recommendation for you for this weekend, so stay tuned.
It's almost 5 p.m.
That was Afternoon Karak.
For dessert?
Aisha and Mikhail suggest...
Well, it is the end of the hour, but we like leaving you with some dessert. Yesterday, we agreed that if you're feeling like a cold dessert, we're going to give you a cold dessert. If you feel like a warm dessert, you can have a warm dessert. And today's dessert is a good one. It's big enough for the weekend.
So for all of you guys who are probably driving back home and you're like, boy, I watched everything on Netflix, Amazon Prime, I got nothing to watch, then head on by to Al Madar at Al Jada. They have their outdoor cinema outing, and they always are screening a movie for free at 8 p.m. Just drive with your family, your friends, and there's all these awesome food outlets for you to try out.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect place for just a nice movie-going experience. And today they'll be screening My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which honestly,
love that movie.
To this day I have not watched it.
Really, I love it.
I'm really
so
curious.
much. It's just so funny, and it's just very sweet and hilarious. I've watched it so many times on NBC2. You should watch it, Mikhail. Whether you're going to head down to Al Jadda or grab your sisters and watch it tonight. And I think it is on Netflix. But like you said, the experience is nicer when you're watching it in an outdoor cinema. And of course, because the pandemic is still going on, guys, don't forget that you are actually within your own car. So you're safe and sound, inshallah. And instead of, like, maybe you're feeling uncomfortable, especially with the big rise of coronavirus cases the past couple of days, and we are getting a press today. What do you call it? I forgot the name.
It's like a press release.
Not a press release.
It's like an announcement.
Press announcement.
A public announcement.
Well, what is that word? There's a word.
PSA.
No, not a. Well, yeah, it is sort of a PSA.
An official decree.
No, it's not an official decree. That's laws. This is not a law.
Okay.
So within the next couple of minutes, I believe in 5 minutes at 5 p.m., we're going to get a media briefing. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
And unfortunately, because our time is up, Yellow Home will have to give you all the reports as well as the news.
Yes.
If you want to get any updates on that. But for now, head on by to Al Madar Al Jada at 8 p.m. They'll be screening My Big Fat Greek Wedding for free. Just get your friends, your family, and enjoy and have a great time. Have a great weekend.
Yes, have a lovely weekend. And as for Mikhail, you know how I'm supposed to reboot the Star Wars trilogy?
Yeah.
I think you should rethink the color of the lightsaber because I still think that the black will not work out. Think about silver.
That could work.
That could really work with just
Mike, you like it? I like that.
No, Sith Lord Mick.
Lord Mick, no.
No.
Lord, no. Lord, no, not Michael, not Mike, not Michaela. Lord Mitch.
That's even worse. That does not strike fear in anybody's heart.
Okay. Galahad. Lord Galahad. But then it sounds like a Jedi, like a good guy.
Well, how about this? You have the entire weekend to think it through.
Okay.
We get back on Sunday, inshallah, and you can give us updates about what you thought of. Sounds good. Well, stay tuned to us. Afternoon Karak, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. 3 to 4 is halftime show. Same time, same vibes, weekdays, only here on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. You're listening to Pulse 95. Pulse 95.
It's Pulse 95.